Hi there, I'm Nathan Babinchek, Director of Watchmaking at Oak and Oscar. The most important thing with sizing a bracelet is making sure your tools are correct for the job. I recommend a watchmaker style screwdriver like this. It has a rotating top and an adjustable blade. We also provide this tool in your kit, which has a screwdriver end and this pokey end. When you're using a screwdriver, you want to make sure that the blade is lined up perfectly with the screw. And that means you're going to have no overhang side to side, and you're going to have the screwdriver straight up and down in the slot. So carefully look before you start turning, and then you can begin removing the screw. If you're using a screwdriver like this, firm downward pressure with the pad of your finger, and then turn the barrel of the screwdriver with your thumb and middle finger. When you hear the kind of snapping, jumping sound, that means that the threads have cleared and are kind of hopping up and down when you keep unscrewing. So that means you know the screw is loose and you can just take it out. If you want to use our included tool, it's all the same thing. So you make sure that the screwdriver blade is exactly lined up, and then you can start turning. Once this is loose, you can take out the link, and there you have it. If you're putting in a screw, first get it started like that. Then you put a small drop of green Loctite into the threads. I'm using a watchmaker style dip oiler, but if you don't have a dip oiler, the smaller end of the spring bar tool will work just as well. And just very carefully apply a small amount of Loctite into the threads. This is not a glue, it's not a real adhesive, it's just, we'll make sure that the screw doesn't back out on you as you wear the watch. And again, you want to carefully line up your screwdriver. And screw it in. Make sure that you are fully screwed down and that the screw is tight. One more thing, when you're sizing a bracelet, you want to make sure that it is balanced. If you look at the bracelet right now, we would call this unbalanced. You can see that there are more links on one side than there are on the other. You want to make sure that the clasp is hanging as close as you can to flat and even on the bottom. So if you have a bracelet like this and you still have more links to take out, don't take out more links from the short side, take them out from the long side. At the same time, I recommend, if you have to choose, that you bias the clasp towards the 6 o'clock side, which means that your 6 o'clock side will be shorter than your 12 o'clock side. That's because the bottom of this clasp is going to naturally center to the bottom of your wrist, and that'll bring the watch head around towards you. If the watch is towards you, it'll be easier to see, and you're much less likely to whack it against things when you're walking around. If the 12 o'clock side is short, it'll pull the watch away from you, and will be much more likely to pick up things when you walk around and hit a doorway or something like that. Now, if you have an old style clasp like this, and you want to upgrade to our newer clasp, then you do it the exact same way. Take a look at your bracelet. You'll see that there is the fitting link here at the end. It's the last screw you can unscrew on the bracelet, closest to the clasp, and you'll take that out. And likewise, on the other end, This last link in the bracelet is the one that you need to remove. The screwdriver precisely in the slot. And you'll find the exact same kind of matching links on the new clasp. So that's it. In your kit, this same tool can be used to take off the bracelet. Now I recommend going out, if you're going to do this often, and getting one of these spring bar tweezers. These tweezers make it so easy and much faster. But if you don't want to go out and get a tool, that's no problem. We have the tool in the kit. Now you'll want to be extra careful with this so that you don't put any damage into or scratches into the lugs or into the bracelet. But there are two ways you can do it. The first way is that you can use the blade side, the screwdriver blade side, on your watch. Now you go right here, there's a little flange in the spring bar. You can pull it back, and you can kind of put a little bit of pressure on the end link to move it out. Do it to the other side as well. You may need to walk it back a couple times. There you go. When you're doing it like this, you want to make sure that you're controlling that spring bar at all times. That helps prevent damage to the lugs, and it helps you from losing your spring bar. These spring bars have strong springs in them, and they will just shoot across the room. You can use the other side as well, the pokey end, and this can go through the outside of your drilled lugs to poke the spring bar in. Again, you're going to push slightly down on the top of the end link so that you move the spring bar away from its hole. Do the other side and pull it out. These tweezers make it extremely easy and safe for your watch. I recommend opening the clasp so that you have more access to the end links. Take the tweezer, securely grab the flanges of the spring bar, pull back both sides, and take off the bracelet. Lastly, we're going to show you how to do the quick adjust on our new clasp. Open the clasp, and you can see the adjustment is in here. You can pop it up, slide the adjustment to where you want to have it, click it back down. There are 6 different points of adjustment on the clasp. It requires no tools. You can just pop it up, move it around, click it down. That gives you about 1.5 links worth of adjustment, and you can do that throughout the day. If it's cold, if you get hot, make it bigger or smaller to match your wrist. And that's it. As always, if you have any questions, please let us know in the comments on Instagram or via email. We're always here to answer any questions you have about our watches. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you again soon.